everyone. This screencast is of the skeletal system because we're about to begin our unit on systems of the body. Our emphasis is going to be on the skeletal system, but we are going to also compare the parts of the human body or the systems of the human body to systems of other animals. So, the first system we're going to be taking a look at is the skeletal system. So here you'll see that there's some notes written down. Now, make sure you're listening as well as trying to get the notes down because I'm going to add a lot of extra information. Okay, so this first part of the notes is going to ask what the functions of the skeletal system are. And the functions of the skeletal system, number one, they provide support and structure to any animal that has it. Okay, so picture yourself without your skeletal system. You would be like a blob of tissue just sitting on the floor. Okay, there'd be no support for any of your organs, and there'd be nothing to provide structure for all of the different parts of your body to kind of build off of. So that's one function of the skeletal system: support and structure. Second function that it serves for us is that it protects our internal organs. Think about the times that you've gotten hit in the head with a basketball or you've fallen and bumped your head, and we've had our skull to protect our brain. Well, without that skull, our brain is really, really vulnerable to injury. We could have a brain bleed or something, and that would be it. So it's lucky that we have parts of our skeleton like our skull and like our rib cage to protect our lungs and our heart, that protect our vital internal organs. So a third function is that the skeletal system works with our muscles to allow us to move. So our muscles need something to kind of pull off of, and it uses the skeletal system to do that. So just as a recap, functions of the skeletal system: to give us support and structure, to protect our internal organs, and to allow us to move. Okay, so that's the function of the skeletal system. Now we're going to talk about the types of skeletal system. You know two of them already. The third will be new. So the first type of skeletal system that vertebrates have are the endoskeleton. So if you guys look to your right, you'll see the endoskeleton of a human. There's one of a frog that looks like a pelican and probably a cat. Okay, it's an internal skeleton. And what we never talked about before was that internal skeleton is actually made up of bone cells. So it's living tissue. It's made up of cells called osteoclasts and osteoblasts. It's got living bone marrow inside of it. That bone marrow helps us to kind of store and produce some of our blood cells. So really, really, really important part of our body, one that we could not function without. Picture us without our skeletal system. So this down here is just reminding you that vertebrates are the types of animals that have endoskeletons. Okay, now the second type of skeleton is the exoskeleton. So you all know what an exoskeleton is because we talked about that when we were studying invertebrates. So here's a little cartoon. This guy wants to know what kind of armor that crustacean has. And he says, no, it's just an exoskeleton. It's an external skeleton. That external skeleton provides a hard protective shell for that invertebrate that has it. And, we talked about arthropods being the major type of invertebrate that has an exoskeleton. So exoskeletons are different from endoskeletons in that exoskeletons are outside of the animal's bodies, endoskeletons are inside. A second way that they are different from each other is that an exoskeleton is not made up of cells. There are no cells in an exoskeleton. It's made up of different compounds, whereas an endoskeleton is made up of bone cells. Now, this next part is talking about two ways that exoskeletons are provide those animals with a disadvantage, ways in which they're not real helpful to the animals. The first way is that an exoskeleton does not allow an animal to grow. So what happens is that exoskeleton doesn't grow. So when the soft part of the body grows, the exoskeleton gets too tight, so that animal sheds that exoskeleton, and that process is a vocabulary word that's called molting. So it is one that you're going to need to know. It's when an exoskeleton is shed by an animal because it's gotten too small. Now, the disadvantage of that is that animal now doesn't have any protection until it grows a new exoskeleton. So, it's kind of vulnerable to being eaten by other animals. So the second disadvantage of an exoskeleton is that they're heavy compared to the weight of the soft part of the animal. So it's a lot of weight for those animals to drag around, and it causes them sometimes to move more slowly, or it causes them to use up lots of energy in their movement. So it actually limits the size of the animal. You don't see any animals on Earth that are as large as an elephant that has an exoskeleton. So it limits the size of an animal. Now, there is a third type of skeleton that we never talked about called a hydrostatic skeleton. So there's three types of skeletons. There's exoskeletons like crustaceans have, there's endoskeletons like we have, and then finally there are hydrostatic skeletons. Hydrostatic means it uses water to provide support. The pressure of water pushes against the outside cells of your animal, giving it structure and support. So, if you understand how a water balloon works, then you understand a hydrostatic skeleton. Think about a water balloon before it's been filled. It just kind of lays there. It doesn't have any shape or structure. But when you fill it with water, suddenly that water is pushing on the outside of the balloon, giving it a shape and giving it some structure. So in terms of animals, that would be an example of a hydrostatic skeleton. Animals like cnidarians, jellyfish, and earthworms, and actually all kinds of worms and mollusks. Those animals have a hydrostatic skeleton. So in summary, guys, there are three types of skeletons: endoskeletons, exoskeletons, and hydrostatic skeletons. The function of those skeletons is to provide support, structure, protection, and movement for those animals that have it. So that concludes this part of the screen papers that go along with this. One of them looks like has three different skeletons on it. The other one has directions for what you do to the sheet that has the three vertebrate skeletons on it. It's going to allow you to kind of compare and contrast the different skeletons of those three animals. So that concludes the screencast. See you later. But just a quick reminder, guys, there are a couple of papers that you are going to have to pick up.